Hi, I'm standing near Worcester College on Walton Street and I'm going to do another Newcomers walk. I did one that started at Lady Margaret Hall and showed some of the things that people living there, starting from there of course, might be able to see fairly easily. I went round to St Clement's and then back via Holywell Street. And I'm going to do the same for Worcester. I'm actually going to do a shorter walk though, because the weather is getting increasingly blustery and it's just started raining. So I'm going to use the shelter afforded by the trees around the canal and go behind Worcester, up the canal and then back. It's still a nice walk and there's a lot to see. This is the front entrance to Worcester and they're doing a lot of building work on the entrance building. Which is explained here. This entrance block was started in 1720 and it's got the library together with the chapel and dining hall, and the roof needs urgent work to prevent it being water damaged, so they're doing the things listed there. That apparently is an engraving of part of the hall from the time that it was built. And they seem to be quite keen to screen some of what they're doing from view, and they put up some nice leafy screening, probably a comment on environmental efficiency of some kind. So that's Worcester, and Worcester has got some beautiful grounds which I showed in a video that I did last September for the Oxford Open Door series, when various places that are normally closed to outsiders are thrown open for the weekend. And Worcester was one of them, its grounds were one of them, and I thoroughly enjoyed making a video there. So I'm going to start from Worcester. And what I had been going to do was to walk round West Oxford and follow part of the old route of the Thames, amongst other things, which connects up with various interesting or useful places to know and says something about the city's history, but I can't rely on it to remain dry. And even a shorter version of that walk I had to abandon because there was too much wind noise. But I hope that a little walk round the canal and back can be done without too much trouble. And I'll do the longer ones when the weather is better. So I've started at Worcester, gone down to the bottom of Walton Street, which is called Worcester Street there, and then turned right. And I'm going to turn right again in a minute. The station is in that direction, and quite a lot of these people are probably coming from there. Maybe a train has just arrived.
So all have been kicked out. Then you can say that, and then
Right, so I'm now somewhere quieter, which is nice, and this is the end of the Oxford Canal. The canal was opened in 1790, and it changed Oxford quite a lot. One thing was coal. Apparently, before the canal was opened, although there are coal fields in the Midlands, there was no good road system to get the coal from there to here. The roads were far too badly constructed and out of use a lot of the time. And presumably there wasn't any water navigation either. So coal had to be brought from Newcastle, which involved taking it down the east coast of England and then to London and then back by Thames to Oxford. And the Thames wasn't particularly easy to navigate in places, so this was quite a difficult and expensive operation. And then the canal was opened. It connected Oxford with Coventry, and it suddenly became much easier to get coal here. The price of coal fell, much to the delight of the residents, and it enabled various new businesses to start. One of the most famous is the the paper mill in Wolvercote. Cheaper versions of products that were made locally could be obtained, and this caused trouble for some of the local businesses that were now being competed with. Some adapted, some didn't, and altogether you read things about the start of the canal, and it seems to have been a time of great change. Now it's mainly residential, or this bit is residential, as you'll see in a minute. So this is on Hythe Bridge Street, this end of the canal, and that is a pub. It's had various names, including the Antiquities Hall and the Nag's Head. The name the Nag's Head referred to the importance of horses in canal work. But now it's called the Oxford Retreat. And it's one place that I haven't drunk at for quite some time, so I can't say much about the quality of its beer. And something that you will see here is a lock system further on and a lot of narrow boats. So enjoy the decoration, the painted designs. The fuchsias are one indication that it's autumn. And some of the trees are already turning. So to recap, this is a walk for newcomers to Oxford, starting at Worcester and showing things, Worcester College, and showing things that you can see without having to go too far from there. And it's deliberately short, firstly because I'm constrained by likely rain, and secondly because it's intermittently very windy, and I'm risking getting a lot of wind noise. I'm okay at the moment, but it could hit me at any time and make long explanations of things tricky. Actually, having said that, it's now become sunnier than it has been for about the past hour. this elegant little bridge, one place it takes you by going along there is under the railway bridge, and then to Cripley and Abbey roads, via which you can get onto the Botley Road and go quite a bit further west. And I was going to do that originally, but as I say, I didn't think I'd have enough dry weather. I'll do it another time. I think a lot of what is behind that greenery is Worcester College gardens. Now, canals are basically one-dimensional, which is nice because it makes them very easy to explore. And you can walk along this one a good long way. I've done it as far as Banbury, but if you just want, say, a short afternoon's walk, then up to Wolvercote is good. A little village at the far end, the north end of Port Meadow, which is a big expanse of floodplain and scrub up, probably about half a mile up, and then extending north as far as Wolvercote, with the main branch of the Thames on its left. This is the district of Jericho, and that's St Barnabas Church. That is a little side street that goes up to Canal Street in Jericho, and the green painted building behind it is a pub called the Old Bookbinders. Not a bad place to drink. And Jericho has two other pubs that are worth trying. The Harcourt Arms and the Rickety Press. Rickety Press is Arkle's. I think the Harcourt is Fuller's. Brewery names those are. For people outside England or outside Britain, most pubs are attached, or as we say, tied to a particular brewery, and they generally have to serve mainly its beers. So knowing which brewery a pub is tied to is quite important if you're interested in the taste of what you're going to be drinking. If you walk along the canal to the next bridge, go up onto it, and then turn left, you get onto Walton Well Road, and that'll take you in very short order to the entrance to Port Meadow. And once you get near the entrance gate, you'll be able to see Wolvercote. A long row of houses in the north. So that's the canal going north. And that's the canal going south, back to where I came off Hythe Street. Welcome to Jericho. And now I'm getting wind problems again, I suspect, because I'm facing south. And that's where the wind seems to be coming from. So now I'm in Jericho, and on Canal Street, which I've just come off, there's a community centre opposite the church, which generally I think has a cafe on Saturdays and dance and music classes, evening classes during the week. Used to be a general store here, a grocer's shop, and it's been turned into a pizza takeaway. So if you fancy a pizza and you're in Worcester and maybe you're fed up with the college food, you can come here. This is a synagogue, and I believe it welcomes people from all over Oxford. Al-Shami Lebanese restaurants. That is a Worcester College side entrance. Records for sale up ahead. This is Walton Street again. And this end of Walton Street is mainly residential, but once you go round the bend, as it were, and past the University Press on the left, there are a lot of cafes, at least 2 Indian restaurants, a delicatessen. Further up, there's I think it's a combined hairdresser and cafe, and then beyond that there's a sort of corner cafe on the corner of Kingston Road, which is the next one after Walton Street, and Leckford Road, which seems to serve very good coffee. There's a picture house, an art house on the left, another pub, two pubs actually, the Jericho Tavern and the Jude the Obscure, and a pub on the right, the Victoria Arms. So there's a lot in Walton Street. There's a little Sainsbury's and a co-op as well. One thing that's a bit awkward at the moment, there are three houses together where the building works are on the right, and it seems that 4 or 5 weeks ago the roof of the middle one started sagging and the front wall beneath it started bowing outwards. One person living there was given an hour to get in as gently as possible, as delicately as possible, take whatever possessions were vital and get out before the building fell apart. And I don't know the cause of this, but it seems to be very ticklish to stop the buildings collapsing, and there have been building works ever since. For quite a time Walton Street was entirely closed, but they've now opened the pavement there. So that's a little bit of a diversion, literally, because people have had to go round there until the pavement reopened, and you still can't drive up Walton Street. I don't know what it's going to do to the traffic that is normally diverted anyway because of St Giles Fair. Anyway, that is Walton Street, and there are a lot of places to eat, drink and buy groceries up there, and this is Worcester College again. Okay, so that was Worcester College, Hythebridge Street, Canal, Jericho and Walton Street, and back to Worcester College, another Newcomers walk. See you next time.